What's going on, guys? Sam Adams here, and welcome to another episode of The Drop. And today we have some pretty good games, nothing that really blows me away, but stuff that's still worth mentioning. We have a new Tekken coming out on top of a cool PlayStation VR game that's coming to Oculus on PC as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. Kicking things off this week, we have Tekken 7 coming to the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, and the PC. Raise your fist and get ready for the ultimate battle on the next generation of home consoles. Powered by the Unreal Engine 4, the storied fighting franchise returns for another round in Tekken 7. With the faithful 3D battle system and gameplay intact, Tekken 7 takes the franchise to the next level with photorealistic graphics and new and innovative features and fighting mechanics. Tekken 7 resurrects the attitude, competitiveness, and showmanship rooted in its arcade DNA to provide the ultimate fighting game experience. Now, if you guys have been watching the channel for a while, you will know that I am not skilled at fighting games. They're not necessarily my thing. However, I do like watching a good fighting game tournament. Specifically Street Fighter V, it seems to be my kind of thing. I don't know, that's just me. When it comes to Tekken, however, it's not really my cup of tea. I don't really like the universe that much. I'm not a big fan of the story behind it, though I have played a couple of Tekken games and they do hold up pretty well, I must say. Now, for fans of Tekken, this is a big release coming out on the newest generation of consoles as well as PC, and on top of that, if you're a fan of competitive esports style competitions, this is definitely going to be a major player over the course of the next couple of years as far as Tekken goes, so it's worth keeping an eye on and it's worth talking about here on The Drop, since it is again coming to the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, and the PC this week. Next up, Star Trek Bridge Crew is coming to the PC and to the PlayStation VR, and I want to make it very clear this is a virtual reality game for a headset. It's not something you really just buy to play. You have to have a PlayStation VR to play this if you want it on the PlayStation 4, but Star Trek Bridge Crew puts you and your friends in the heart of a starship where, as officers of the Federation, every action and decision you make together will determine the fate of your ship and crew. Developed specifically for VR, Star Trek Bridge Crew is the only game to offer a true-to-life level of immersion in the Star Trek universe. In Star Trek Bridge Crew, the Federation dispatches you and your crew to command the new vessel USS Aegis, I think. As part of a critical initiative, your mission: explore a largely uncharted sector of space known as the Trench, in hopes of locating a suitable new homeworld for the decimated Vulcan populace. The Trench contains stunning beauty and undiscovered wonders, but also strange anomalies and dangers yet unknown. The Klingon Empire is also active in the region, and their purpose is undoubtedly a threat to the Federation's plans. It's up to you and your crew to chart the sector to determine the Klingons' aims and to secure a peaceful Federation presence. Now, if you guys have been here on the channel for a while, you will know that I'm not fully on board with VR. Virtual reality is still in its infancy, I think, and it's definitely going to evolve over the next couple of years, but with PlayStation VR hitting the mass market, although it has had a low adoption rate, it's still a pretty significant step forward. So with Star Trek Bridge Crew, it just kind of makes sense to make a game for Star Trek fans where you literally are sitting in the pilot seat of a Federation ship. That's a pretty big deal. Now, a big part of Bridge Crew is having some players to play it with. Now, of course, you can fly solo, that's always an option, but 4-player co-op is heavily suggested just because it gives you that full immersion feel that you are all together the crew of a ship. So if you have some friends that you can play with, that is definitely a big plus for this one. Aside from that, if you're a fan of Star Trek and you've always wanted to pilot a Federation ship, you can definitely do that. You're going to be getting a ton of different sides of the Star Trek universe with the Klingons and exploring new stuff, and that real sense of exploration that you would expect from the Star Trek universe. I think that's all encapsulated right here within Bridge Crew. So if that sounds like something you might be interested in and you are an early adopter of VR, you can check it out on either the PlayStation 4 or the PC this week. Next up, we have Victor Vran Overkill Edition coming to the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. Become Victor, Hunter of Demons. Forge your own hero on a quest to liberate the cursed city of Bagaravia. Vanquish the servants of darkness as you battle with the burdens of a life left behind. You will require great skill to defeat your enemies. Look your very best and reinforce your playstyle with a monumental arsenal of powerful weapons, game-changing outfits, wicked demon powers, and fate-binding destiny cards. Redefine how you play at any moment, even in the heat of battle. Modify your demon-slaying loadout as you dodge deadly attacks, leap from towering locations, and crush the skulls of your foes. Fedora or no Fedora? You decide. So this one overall looks sort of interesting. Not necessarily my kind of thing. I'm still trying to figure out why they put Fedora or no Fedora in the description. that I just read, but it definitely looks kind of cool, so if it looks like something you might be interested in, you might want to give it a closer look. For me though, just not that interesting, but still worth mentioning here on the drop since it's pretty much coming out on everything. Next up we have Perception, coming to the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, and the Nintendo Switch. Crafted by a team of veteran PC and console developers famous for BioShock, BioShock Infinite, and Dead Space, Perception offers a bold, fresh take on first-person narrative games. Perception is a first-person narrative horror adventure that tells the story of Cassie, a blind heroine, not like the drug, like heroin, like the successful female hero, who uses her extraordinary hearing and razor-sharp wits to unravel the mysteries of an abandoned estate that haunts her dreams. C, using echolocation, every sound creates a visual. Engage in a deadly game of hide-and-seek with relentless enemies, including the presence. Trigger radical change at the estate of Echo Bluff each time you solve its mysteries. Travel back through history to exercise your own nightmares. So this is a very cool premise behind a game. Pretty much you are blind and you only see through your sense of hearing and this echolocation where it pretty much gives you an outline of whatever you are in, and it does create a very eerie vibe. And to be honest, I'm a big fan of how this looks, and I think it's going to work out really well on the Nintendo Switch since it is coming to that alongside the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. But I love the idea. I love the fact that it's a narrative with a kind of a creepy story that's being told. Looks really cool, and again, it's coming out this week. Next up, Locke's Quest is coming to the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and the PC. Build defenses and battle against the Clockwork Horde in the next generation remake of the critically acclaimed, get this, 2008 Nintendo DS title Locke's Quest. Experience the fan favorite which gained accolades such as one of the best DS games of 2008 according to Game Daily, just an overall delightful game according to Worth Playing, a love letter to the evolution of the tower defense genre from 1UP, by far one of the most original, inspired, and entertaining experiences we've had on the DS this year. Again, this is 2008, and that quote was from IGN. So as far as the game goes, you play as Locke, a boy who stumbles upon an invasion of his village, which triggers a wider war between Kingdom Force and a revived Clockwork Army, led by the nefarious Lord Agony. A gripping story unfolds as you progress through 75 days of warfare across a dozen unique maps, aided by a collection of turrets, traps, and special attacks. Experience the game as it was meant to be with a high-quality soundtrack, new resolution portraits, and revised gameplay. I would hope they would revise it considering it was originally made for the DS. So apparently this game has enough of a cult following that they bring it to the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, and to the PC. To be honest, I had never really heard of it, but checking out the gameplay, it just blows my mind that it was already on the DS. Why wouldn't you bring this tower defense mixed with RPG, mixed with action genre to the Switch? It just would work. Why wouldn't you do that? However, for fans of the 2008 DS game that won accolades such as just an overall delightful game from Worth Playing, then you'll be glad to know it's coming to the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, and the PC this week, and I wouldn't be surprised to see it coming to the Switch at some point along the line, though I suppose we'll just have to wait and see. And to wrap things up, a couple of honorable mentions. Tokyo 42 is coming to the PC and the Xbox One, a pretty cool looking game if I do say so myself. The Titanfall 2 Monarch Reigns DLC is coming out, of course, on the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, and the PC. This is a free DLC that I believe adds a new Titan and a new map, and a couple of other little bells and whistles if you are interested in that. Astro Duel Deluxe is coming to the Nintendo Switch, which it kind of looks like every other game that's come out on the Nintendo Switch that could be considered indie. But then you have YS Origin coming to the Vita. I'm not sure if I said that correctly, but it apparently is a classic, and I'm glad to see Vita still getting support even after the Nintendo Switch has pretty much killed all of its utility. And that wraps it up for the drop this week. I hope you have enjoyed this episode. If you did, drop me a like down below, and if you happen to be new to the channel, I do upload new stuff throughout the week, so there's always something new right here when you do come by to check out some videos. But as for right now, I'm going to go gear up to enjoy my Memorial Day. I hope you guys have had a fantastic one if you are celebrating it here in the States. I will talk to you later in the week. Peace.